William McNeil Jr. Have you guys seen the video yet? All right, check this out, and then we'll do some reaction and breakdown to this.
Oh, the traffic stop that's gone viral and why the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has now opened an investigation. Video shows the deputies beating and punching William McNeil Jr., who says it happened back in February. Here's a portion of it.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No, don't. Get on the ground.
We don't know what happened before or after that camera began.
We do know before. We just watched it before.
The Sheriff's Office says, in part, we have launched an internal investigation into the video and the circumstances surrounding this incident. We hold our officers to the highest standards and are committed to thoroughly determining exactly what occurred. Civil rights attorneys and Harry Daniels are now representing McNeil. Daniels joins me now. Harry, appreciate your time. Let's go ahead and start with why your client decided to release this video now.
Thanks, Kara, for having us on. Mr. McNeil released his video now because he has the support from his attorney team, myself and Mr. Crump, and his family. This was a very traumatic situation for him. He was very afraid. As you can see, he was calling for a supervisor because he was very confused as to why he was being pulled over for not having headlights on during the day. The Florida law says that if it's rain, smoke, or fog, you should drive around with headlights. Neither of those elements were presented, and he wanted to know why he was being pulled over. And obviously, you saw what happened next. He was his window was shattered. He was punched in the face, pulled out the car, struck again, and he was beaten while he was on the ground. So this was a very horrible video to watch. And, Mr. McNeil suffered tremendously as a result of these officers' rogue conduct.
So, Harry, a couple questions that we haven't been able to answer, and hopefully you can add some clarity here. When did he start? When did he decide that he needed to start rolling video? What happened prior to where we see that recording begin? Can you give us any context?
So when he was initially pulled up, he was initially stopped. He notified the officer that he opened his door and notified the officer that his front windows, passenger and driver's side windows, were broke, and they wouldn't roll down. He rolled down his back passenger window, and he was speaking with the other officer. Just before then, he knew the situation began to escalate because one, they was telling him that they pulled him over for not having his lights on, and he wanted to speak to a supervisor, and they would not comply. So he figured he needed to start recording this incident just in case something happened. I don't believe the officers on scene knew that he was actually recording. If you continue to watch the video after the incident, after the beating, one of the officers, they actually grabbed their phone and turned it off. So I don't know if they knew that it was actually being recorded, but they were in fact recorded, and it was depicted on camera what happened.
Got it. So a police officer actually came into the car and turned the recording off?
Turn the recording off. That's a violation of his First Amendment right in the first place. He had no reason to go in the car, no reason to touch the camera at all. So that is a key factor in the show, that the willingness of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to cover up. And I echoed over and over against Jacksonville Sheriff's Office dealing with their and how they treat their citizens down there. And particularly, Jacksonville is allowed to investigate themselves. There's no outside third-party investigator to come in to investigate them, and they continue to have misconduct, unlawful use of force, because they're allowed to investigate themselves. And the sheriff just recently made a statement in July that he's investigating. Well, the officers had body cameras on. They never mentioned in their report about any use of force, about punching Mr. McNeil at all. They completely omitted that from the report. And once the video became public, then and only then did some type of investigation proceeded.
Well, and clearly we see the window bashed in. We see the your client being struck. He was punched in the face. That's very obvious on the video. Curious, why didn't he just get out of the car?
He was afraid. He was afraid.
Okay.
You know, in this environment, policing in America, uh, especially young men of color, are very afraid of police. He was afraid even before, during, and after the incident. He's very afraid. But more importantly, you know, a lot of people question why he just didn't get out of the car. You know, he felt like it was a barrier because he had these individuals whose sworn officers was there to protect him, was harassing him and telling him he's something has happened that he know was not against the law, and he didn't do anything. So he was very afraid, and you can obviously see the result. You know, this officer broke his window and just punched him in his face. Mr. McNeil suffered very significant injury. We have pictures, we have evidence of injury. He had to get, he has permanent injury as related to this incident. He has memory loss, closed head injury. So this is not just a one-off of just being punched and swept under the rug. This is very significant impact to Mr. McNeil, and we have to seek justice and legal redress, and not just a civil action, but a pursue criminal matters against these officers.
So, are you telling us your client is planning on filing a lawsuit then against the sheriff's office?
Here, let me be clear. We are planning to do everything we can do to secure justice in the matter, from a lawsuit to a civil complaint federally. We are seeking all options to ensure accountability. This has have gone on too long here in the state of Florida, especially Duval County, where the Jacksonville Sheriff Office is completely unhinged. It's time for a change. So whatever it looks like, we're going to pursue it and ensure that we get justice for Ms. McNeil.
Got it. And I see your client was charged with resisting arrest without violence, among some other charges. What do you make of the deputy's claim that your client reached down to grab a large knife, Harry?
They tell you they have no credibility because we watched the video and that did not happen. That's the narrative they gave. That's the lie they gave. We're not going to sugarcoat it for them. They lied. They omitted and they lied. And that alone, as an officer of the law that's sworn to protect and tell the truth, you should be fired for just not even getting to the beating, the unlawful use of force. You should be fired for making a false report. And nothing has happened as of yet to these officers.
Did your client even have a knife in the car?
Uh, I don't know if he had a knife in the car at all. And it's not a law. It's not against the law to have a knife in the car, have a weapon in the car. But we do know is that the officer lied about him reaching for any weapon or any knife or anything. And this was a matter where we got to focus on what they did because he didn't do anything wrong. The the only person that was in control that day was Mr. McNeil. These officers were completely out of control. And one thing you don't see on the video, he was actually being held at gunpoint at the time when he was inside the vehicle before they broke his window.
We will follow the investigation for sure.
Yeah, so will we. Um, so will we. Extremely disturbing footage, people. Let me just skate down real quick to the bottom of this. Was there more talks of the reports against this young man? Additionally, the court records show that he was sentenced and served 2 days in jail for resisting arrest without violence and driving with a suspended license. McNeil was arrested and pled guilty to resisting police officer without violence, Waters said. So he actually pled guilty to resisting arrest. That bugs me out a little bit. Okay, let's start here. Let's start on how disgusting this video makes all of us feel before I go to some of the jewels, some of the learning points for all of us, including me, from these situations. First and foremost, we're all disgusted by this footage, right? It's viral. It deserves to be viral. I hope this brings a lot of attention to Jacksonville's police department, the officers involved. I believe that the attorney that we just listened to, I think he was very, very well spoken, and this man McNeil was very, very well represented right there. If that was me and I went through this and I watched my lawyer perform like that on a news channel, I'd be happy. I think he hit some major points. And yes, it does deserve an attack on every level. The police officers, their job, should they be employed? Should they be off the force civilly, possibly criminally? Whatever the case may be, justice must be sought after a situation like this. Why we are so disgusted? We see a young man, a young black man in his car pleading, right? And we have audio. We don't see him irate. We don't see him going crazy. We don't see him being a threat to the police. He's even sitting there still with his seatbelt buckle on. All right. He's not a threat. We see his hands at times. He says, my hands, whatever. You see what I'm saying? So to see them crack the window after he's pleaded, he requested a supervisor. Now, I don't know why you request for a supervisor. The attorney said he's being held at gunpoint. I don't know why you request for a supervisor and you couldn't get one right there at that moment. But you request for a supervisor. The other officer on your side, driver's side, breaks the window. He gets punched in the face while he's sitting in the car still. They then proceed to open the door. He shows his hands multiple times. Camera's still running. They pull him out after they take off his police belt, punch him in the face, drop him, throw him on the ground. God knows what's happened after that. And then you say the police officer, and it's not his right to do so, comes in the car and turns the fucking camera off for the rest of the footage. Thank God this man had the footage that he at least has. Watching that shit makes us fucking sick. It looks like over abuse of force. And then we're used to hearing it. Stop resisting. Get down to it. It's like I'm not resisting. What are you talking about? Give me a second. We'll get there. Let me calm down. The wrongs, the things we still want to take away from this and teach our kids, teach ourselves. Okay, I pulled up while the video was playing. I Googled, in Jacksonville, are you required to get out of your car from police request? The answer on Google says yes. If a police officer orders you to exit your vehicle during a lawful traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida, you are legally obligated to comply. This authority stems from U.S. Supreme Court ruling in cases like Pennsylvania versus Mims, 1977. The key points: officer safety, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We do the ghetto lawyering up here. And then sometimes I ask attorneys, like, was I right? Was I wrong? Sometimes they hit me up. Sometimes I Google. Sometimes I chat GPT, all that type of shit. We do a podcast, people. One thing I got to always claim, I'm not no fucking lawyer. I will never give y'all no full all-out legal advice that I would tell you to go walk into court. I'll give you some opinions. I'll speak my shit. But I'm not a licensed fucking lawyer. And nobody in the chat, as far as, well, I shouldn't say nobody. Some of us are. But most of us are not. Okay? I think that we see these videos a lot of give me your supervisor. No, I'm not getting out. People non-complying. It's my right to stand here. Sometimes these people are right. You see situations where somebody's standing on a public street and they're recording and a police officer approaches them. Hey, you can't record here. Yes, I can record here. The difference is handling that in a situation that's non-confrontational, which is not easy to do because this literally is a confrontation. You're confronting me. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to do. Now, they mentioned that there's footage that before that we didn't have. Let me just take an assumption. This isn't blaming Mr. McNeil at all. Fuck these police that just did this shit. We're now breaking down how we can avoid this shit, people. You know what it seems like in this scenario? It feels like there was a lot of frustration built up. Okay? A lot of frustration built up. So they say his headlights weren't on. Okay, did they need to be on? If law states that they only need to be on in foggy scenarios, raining scenarios, or if it's dark or night at time, you don't have to have them on, but he didn't turn them on, right? Okay. He's driving with a suspended license. Okay, I'm pretty sure at that point they knew he was on a suspended license, which is probably why they had that many police around. They wasn't sure what was going on with him. That report showed drug paraphernalia, marijuana, right? When they asked the lawyer, was there a knife in the car? That was his only stumble in the interview. He gave a great answer finally, but he stumbled to death. You saw that? Was there a knife in the car, period? I'm not sure, but what we do know from the footage, he didn't reach for it. Great point. But You're talking about frustration. You're talking about the lights. You're talking about a license. You're talking about marijuana. You're talking about unlocked doors. There's another one. They're reporting, the lawyer said that the windows didn't work. So the police officers are also dealing with that. Put your windows down. I can't put my windows down, just the rear one. They probably won't believe you. They probably think that you're trying to piss them off or fuck them over or be another self-appointed attorney. I don't have to roll my windows down. So you got license, you got weed, you got alleged knife, you got no lights, you got won't roll the windows down, you got non-complying when asked to get out the car. That's six. That's six. Although I believe that these fucking police used excessive force and it was disgusting and it hurts to watch that video and watch this young man get punched in the face and grabbed like that. There's six very serious situations that's happening that's creating an entire, I know I see people in chat saying no knife. I'm saying allegedly a sex, and you said no knife charge, right? Well, it's not illegal. Doesn't mean that just because you don't get a charge for it doesn't mean that it wasn't there, right? But anyway, let's say 5, allegedly 6, right? That's going to build a lot of frustration with the police. A lot of fucking frustration. It doesn't mean that what they did was right. If I'm in the right, if I know I got pulled over for my headlights and my headlights don't need to be on because it's not foggy, it's not raining, and it's not nighttime, right? No, most people don't even touch their headlights. It's all auto, right? But let's say hypothetically you're in a car, you need to turn them on when in certain conditions. If that's why I really got pulled over for that driving infraction, I'm going to have that quick conversation. I might offer up some debate. Why am I being pulled over? Sir, my lights were not on, but there's not conditions for me to have them on. If he continues to say, no, they need to be on or whatever the case may be, let me get my ticket and keep it moving. I'm going to say, no problem. I'll fight that. We fight too many cases with arresting officers that are just there to enforce a law. We try to fight the cases as if they are the judge and jury. That's not time to fight your case. If anything, that's more of a time to shut up and be more quiet. I'm not going to take these officers through 6 potential alleged arenas of frustration between lights, license being suspended, weed, alleged knife, windows not going down, not complying to get out the car, which what we read is actually Jacksonville law to comply with. I'm not taking them through all of that shit. Want to know why? Because worst case scenario, I'm not just going to leave with a couple stitches in my lip. I'm going to leave with a fucking bullet in me. And want to know what? That's also because of how much we don't really fuck with a lot of these people that go above and beyond. We shouldn't trust them enough to protect us in this scenario. We can't trust them enough to say, I know you're going to be compassionate towards this situation or these headlights or this little bit of weed or me not having my license or me telling you my windows won't go down. I can't trust you to be compassionate. I trust you to be scared of me, my black ass. When you see my tattoos and you see my demeanor and you see my build, I think that you're scared of me. So I'm not talking nothing the way I'm talking right now. I want my ticket. And here's another one, people. If you ask me to get out the car, I'm getting out the car. I've been asked to get out the car before, and I did. Help me beat a case. Shout out to Tate and Shata. Why'd you take them out the car if you really pulled them over for a driving infraction? Why'd you search the car without approval or without a warrant for a driving infraction? That's how we beat the case. We complied. They said, come on around the back, sit on the bumper. We wasn't under arrest. We wasn't handcuffed. They tossed the car. They found whatever they found, and they said, everybody hands behind your back. We complied. Lawyered up and beat the case. I'm not playing with y'all trigger it fucking finger itchy mother. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm going to comply. We have enough evidence online to see how they treat us and how scared they are of us and how much they abuse their power. Just comply. Don't run. Don't argue. If you feel legally you know enough of the law, can I please have a supervisor? Cool. But it gets to a certain point where you got to comply, people, especially if this is really just a driving infraction. Now, if you're dirty as shit, if you got a couple keys in the truck, guns, no license, this, that going on, you might want to argue as much as possible. Me, I ride clean as fuck. License, registration, insurance, anything that's in my car is legally there. So I have no reason not to fucking comply. That's how we save ourselves, people.